What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is a special day after Thanksgiving show. Uh, for those that are not from the United States, we have entered the holiday season around here, Thanksgiving being one of the big ones. Let me get back to that in a second. Spook Realm 4Q, you are number one. If you don't have the book, please get the book. The link is in the description below. My brother's name is Kenny. The true origin story of BDP. We all know the drill. Um, if you get a chance, please hit the like button so we can have more like-minded people come to the chat, come to the family. Um, And last but not least, big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later on. Okay. Uh, you know, Thanksgiving has a controversial history to some. Um, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but usually for Americans, it's a time to give thanks. And for what you have, and I talk about that all the time on this channel about being thankful for the small, even small things that we take for granted. There are people in this world that would give anything. Most people in this world would give anything to have the little small things that's regular to us. Um, Thanksgiving Day, depending on who you are, could either be a celebration, or if you're a Native American, it's not really a celebration, or if you're a turkey, it's not really a celebration. But we're going to choose to give thanks on this day, or yesterday. Uh, Today is Friday, the 28th. We're going to give a little thanks for just the stuff that we have, and for our family that we have here, people that's been down since the beginning, all the new people that's come on this year, people that's just going to come in. We got another month left of the year for the people that's going to come in. Big up to y'all. Um, okay, let me make this a little bigger so I can see, get some shout outs in. Gregory Nettis, what up? Um, Rod Justice Hip Hop, what up? Um, Supreme Divine, what up? Dre Stack Dollars, what up? Um, and for those of you that have taken out some time, I know a lot of you with your family and everything, take out some time to just hang out with Kenny Parker. I really, really appreciate it. Um, let's see. Floetry, how you doing? Beyond the Matrix, what up? Henry Cedillo, what up? The original CMC in the place to be, what up? Um, JT, what up? Uh, Silk Child says, what's good, KP? Much love. Did you see the latest story on Scott LaRock about Robocop? Might it be accurate? Are you talking about the said G version of events? Uh, he spoke, for those that didn't see his interviews, said G was on this channel twice last year. That's my man, said G. I love him. And he also talked about uh his theory of what went down with Scott LaRock's passing and the original RoboCop. Now, is there something else new? You said the latest stories. That means, is there more? Please, somebody fill me in. But as far as I know, it was the said G story. So now let's see. Um, let's see. TMI Santiago, what's good, King? Ajax Vancinity, what's up? Sweet Goldilocks, what's up? Um, J Woo 72, New Haven, Connecticut. Um, Ajax says, y'all enjoying those jive turkey leftovers? I've eaten so much leftovers that I'm embarrassed for myself. Uh, Yale University in the house, Ivy League, let's go. Y'all got some good conspiracy theories going on at that college. Is it true? Rosmel, what up? Latrice Washington, what's up? Um, Jason Wall says, I didn't even eat a real Thanksgiving meal, just got the little Bob Evan takeout meal they make. That's cool, man. Whatever it is, whatever, I'm not a big fan of holidays as it is because I treat every day I think as a special day. But you had a meal on this day and on Thanksgiving, and that's a blessing. Kenneth Smith, what up? Uh, let's see. Anthony James, what up? Rich shots. Did you ever think about when you out of here? Salute. Oh, by the way, I am back in the other location with my live. I wanted to see if the picture is clearer this week. I'm trying some experiments. Last week, the last couple of weeks, things have been going fine for the most part. I've been in the other location over there. Now I'm over here. I'm trying to see if maybe it was this location. So y'all let me know if it's everything is clear. Um, Riding Dirty Face, what up, KP? New Mexico, salute. Oh, you way out there. What up? Um, Patrick Y, what up? Um, Jermaine Brown, this is interesting. Yo, Kenny, what is your difference between an MC and a rapper, in your opinion? Well, I'm not either. So I just listen to other artists talk about their differences, including my brother, who's been one of the big proponents of the difference between rap and hip hop and MCing and things like that. But I'm not clear. Is a MC a person who is true to hip hop, and a rapper is a person who makes records? Like, I'm not really sure what the difference really is. Um, Everyone, like, that's one of the things where everyone has their own opinion. I think, me personally, I don't like to put people in boxes. You check this box if you're like this. To me, if you grab a microphone and you are doing what is considered rap, you are rapping. Now, I guess I don't know, an MC lives the culture and a rapper. I don't know. Uh, because I don't want somebody to say that's real rap and that's not real rap, because that might be real rap to that person. If I say to somebody, you're a hip hop person, you're a hip hop fan, you grew up on it, you've listened to it your whole life, give me your interpretation of hip hop. And they might not be from New York, or they might not be from LA or somewhere, and they might come with their style from where they're from. That's hip hop and that's rap to them. And I want to hear it. I want to hear it because if it's dope, it's something new. With that being said, to not answer your question, I'm not really sure what the difference is between an MC and a rapper. To me, it's interchangeable. An MC moves the crowd. Is the MC live and a rapper is on record? Is that it? An MC is live? Like, if you're on stage rocking a crowd, you're an MC. If you're in the studio, you're a rapper. I don't know. That's a great question. I would love First of all, I'd love to get some of the founding fathers on here so they could come with their opinion. Um, I might have to ask Grandmaster Caz a question like that next time I see him. Sweet Goldilocks, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Um, Ooh, Kenny, I have a question. Is it easy to maintain your weight or do you have to work for it and watch what you eat? Also, do you work out? Thanks. It's very difficult to maintain weight. Actually, I've gained some weight in the past few months. Um, I don't really work out per se. I used to play a lot of ball, obviously. Then again, at my biggest weight, which is probably 60, 70 pounds bigger than I am right now, I was playing a lot of basketball. It basically came down to changing my diet and just deciding that I wasn't going to eat certain foods and I wasn't going to eat late at night. Late at night is the killer. Um, but this past 2 days have been horrible. I've done everything against everything I believe in, eating a bunch of food. And I love food. It's my one vice. But I would say maintaining your weight, all it has to do with what you eat. Because they say, and I'm not a fitness person, but they say weight loss is a combination of exercise and diet. But they say it like it's 50-50. It's not really 50-50. It's like 70-30. Diet is like 70 and exercise is like 30. You could do, I did a spin class one time with a friend of mine and it almost killed me years ago. Spin class is ridiculously hard. And I think you burn something like 800 calories or something like that in a spin class. You could wipe all of that away with a Big Mac, fries, and a shake. That whole spin class is, you've eaten more calories than even a spin class. So if you do a spin class or whatever and burn 800 calories and then go to McDonald's, you're already back in the negative. So I believe it's food, but I'm no expert at all. And I need more discipline. Um, Thank you for that question. Corey Flex said G is still the best Kenny guest to date. Big up said G. Derek Mallory, no. KP, did you see your girl Tracy Spencer's 3-hour interview on YT's halftime chat yet? No, I forgot all about it. You mentioned it. I'm gonna watch it. Um, I like Tracy Spencer. David Alston, what up? Icon Paul said, I didn't hear it like said implicated D Nice. I heard it like they knew Scott would come through if they messed with D. That doesn't mean D had anything to do with it, if that was true. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to rehatch the whole conspiracy unless you guys want to go into it. Y'all let me know in the comments. But he didn't really implicate D. Well, in some ways he did, in some ways he didn't, because he's saying that people knew Scott was going to be there. And the only way you would know, D Nice called Scott to come there. It was spur of the moment. So a lot of things sort of had to add up for Seji's conspiracy to be true. And I'm just not, I thought about it a lot and I'm not really going in that direction. I'm going more in the direction of a guy got in a beef in the Bronx and got ended, which happened there was almost 2,000 endings in New York City that year. New York City was the crime and from stands for YouTube, the crime and ending capital of America in 86. Almost 2,000 people per year were getting offed. And to put that in perspective, now in New York, it's around 400. 400 now, almost 2,000 in 86. So, in my opinion, a guy in the Bronx, one of the worst neighborhoods in New York, got ended in a beef. That sounds more logical to me than some conspiracy. Not saying that it didn't happen. I just don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Um, could be true though. CMC, you already know what it is. Salute to De La Soul. I hope they receive Album of the Year. Super banger. Yeah, I was just listening to the album again yesterday with my man Daryl. Um, they cover a whole realm of music, like hard, medium tempo, fast, smooth, witty. Like it's they use a lot of live instrumentation. Maceo is like the narrator. They have a lot of skits. Paz is at the top of his game on that album. You know, my thing with albums from legends is that for me, I'm not asking for you to be the best you've ever been. This is it. I just want you to sound like how you sound. I want you to sound like how you sound and how I remember you. Like, you know, if you're Slick Rick, I want you to sound like Slick Rick. If you're Mob Deep, if you're Kane, if you're KRS, whoever you are, when I go to pick that up, I want you to sound like how you sound. And, you know, for me, and Paz, I believe he does most of the rapping on the album, sounds as close to Paz the News as he's ever sounded, which to me also adds to it. Y'all know I'm a huge Native Tongue fan. Um, and I said, this is a type of project that could reignite Rock and Roll Hall of Fame um, conversation with De La Soul, which would be much deserved. Um, and let me big up Mass Appeal, Nas's label and company. They are really putting out some good music and giving the artist a real chance to be heard. A lot of our legendary artists come out with new music with hardly any promotion or play at all. And most of the time, their audience doesn't even know their album is out. Um, Mass Appeal has done a great job at letting the people know who would listen to these acts that they have a new album. I just saw De La Soul on, is it Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel the other night. Um, that's huge promotion. That's the type of promotion you would get on a major label. So shout out to Mass Appeal. Shout out to Nas for giving artists a real chance. Um, Bariqua King, loud and direct. Uh, Mr. York, KP, I saw you on Basketball Heads with Pooh Harding. Great interview. John Johnson is really a humble dude. He's humble on there. That's my guy, the great John Johnson, Talentine, great basketball player. From I went to grammar school with him. Yeah, I did an interview about 3 years ago on Basketball Heads with my man Pooh Harding, who I went to high school with, and we talked basketball. It was great. If you guys get a chance to check it out, Basketball Heads. I talk a lot of basketball on there. Um, I'm big up to my man John John. 73 Trini, what up? Big Kenny P, anything for New Year's night? Might be in NYC that weekend. Yeah, I'm on hold for New Year's. They're still trying to hash it out. So I will see. Either I have this gig coming up or I'll be home. So I don't really like to go out. If I'm not working, I really don't like to be out on New Year's. It's too wild for me. And New Year's is probably my favorite holiday from when I was a kid, but I don't really like being out. In New York City is a lot going on. Like there's no way real New Yorkers don't even go to the ball drop. That is for tourists. No real New Yorker would be caught dead at the Times Square ball drop. Um, but I don't even like to be outside like that. It's just too wild for me. But when I'm working, I gotta be outside. So we'll see. Patrick McLean says clear as a bell. What up, KP? Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Uh, Rod Justice says, Kenny Parker, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Looks like Borg Tech on your shirt. Uh, this is my favorite sweatshirt, Gangstar. I got from Preem. And this is a wireless microphone, Rode. Uh, I've tried a bunch of microphones for this channel, and this microphone seems to be the one that I like the best. And I can move around with it. I can go, do a lot of things. This is a Rode microphone, wireless. Um, oh no, I already said that. I already showed that. Sorry. Um, MC is off the top of the head. I mean, Rakim said EMMECE. Um, I said ECE, EMECE. A lot of people have said MC on record, and they're rhyming written rhymes. I don't know. Could be. Henry Cedillo says rappers rap make good rap songs. MC Master of Ceremony controls the crowd. Everyone can't control the crowd. Well, only a few people can control the crowd from what I've seen. I've seen people calling themselves MCs who are not very good at controlling the crowd. So I don't know. Hammer said he wasn't an MC. Hammer was so adamant about it that he took the MC Hammer off of his name. Remember when he came out? Um, I think it's too legit to quit. He took MC off his name. He's like, I'm just Hammer. And he can move a crowd. He had his crowd rocking. I don't know. An MC can rock a crowd, a rapper makes records. So you could be both. A rapper is just a lyricist. An MC can control a crowd. So that's the definition we're going with. A MC is live and a rapper is on record, basically. I mean, I'm not mad at that. Um, I'm not mad at that at all. It's just that I'm not sure of the definition. Ilroy, the MC, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Kenny, even Daylight gave shout to Chubby Checker on their new album. I think that was Common who said that. I think that was Common rhyming who said Chubby Checker. Not sure why you and Chubby got beef. It wasn't beef. I was questioning his credentials. Um, I was just wondering, I always have a problem with the criteria of what makes you eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the voters vote, it doesn't seem consistent. And I was wondering how Chubby Checker got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame based on what I knew of his career. And we had a whole debate on here, and I mentioned how I want no smoke with Chubby Checker. uh, that's funny. Engage VR says, I saw Buster on the float. Yeah, the Thanksgiving Day parade float. Um, Big up Buster Rhymes. He's everywhere, man. Crusher Blackbird, what is your take on Billboard ranking Little Kim's Hardcore as the #1 greatest hip hop album cover of all time? I didn't see that. I don't take any of these rankings of these magazines. I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, they're cool, but uh, a black woman with her legs spread open for the world to see is the #1 greatest hip hop album cover. I, I don't know. I mean, it depends on your perspective. There's been some great thought-provoking album covers that took incredible uh, artistry, incredible photo ability, um, things that made you look twice. Ghetto Boys album cover and Tribe and Public Enemy, Criminal Minded. They the first ones to have jammies on the cover. You know, just classic Nas baby picture on the front. Little boy Nas on the front of Illmatic. I'm just thinking of covers just off the top of my head that just stick in your mind. Outkast had one. Was it a Quemini? Whatever. All the colors. Daylight, 3 Feet High and Rising. These are all great artistic covers, and they pick which would be considered a pretty simple album cover with her. I don't know. I'm hearing this for the first time. I liked Little Kim's album, the album Hardcore. I bumped that album a lot when it was out. Played all the songs. Um, I even went all the way to Brooklyn to hunt down a copy of No Time. I got No Time for Fake Ones. I could not find that record anywhere, and I went all the way to Undies. Shout out to Un. Shout out to my man Buck, Un's brother. I went all the way to their house to get a copy of the record in Bed-Stuy. So I was rocking the Little Kim album, but I don't know if that cover represents hip hop as a whole. Like if you're thinking about a cover, if this is the greatest hip hop cover of all time and you're representing hip hop, is that that's how they see hip hop represented the best? I don't know. I have not seen this, so I have to see this for myself. Um, that's interesting. Um, Jamil Love, where and when your brother KRS first performance and how was it? I was not at his first performance. Um, well, his first performance as a recording artist. I've seen him perform as a teenager. I probably have seen his first performance as a teenager, but he wasn't even KRS then. Uh, I think his first show was at a place called the Devil's Nest in New York. I heard him talk about it, but I was not there. If you pick up the book, I go into great detail about the first time I saw Boogie Down Productions perform. I go into great detail in the book. Um, let's see. Patrick McLean says De La Soul is great, but I didn't realize how much I missed listening to Prodigy. Yeah, Prodigy's great too. Completely different artists, but both great at what they do. Patrick McLean says Mass Appeal label for heads. Yeah, I know Mass Appeal had like a series. They were doing like a legendary series for 2025, cultivating with their Nas and Preem album. I hope they don't stop. This has been really good. I hope they don't stop, and I hope they have a lineup for 2026. Um, let's see. Rod Justice, you're back from wherever you went. I don't know if I have a favorite Gangstar album. I don't know if I have a favorite. Step Into the Arena was banging. Moment of Truth was banging. I don't really have a favorite. Um, this is tough. Divine Existence, Peace KP. If Master Appeal did a Legend Has It Part 2 promotion in the future, who would be the artist you'd like to see in the second run? Well, I'd like to see artists who haven't put out music in a while. And that's a great question. Because who did we love from back in the day that hasn't really put out music in a while? Um, because a lot of people have dropped in the past couple of years. A lot of big artists, well, formerly big artists have dropped. I'd have to think about that because my native tongue people have dropped. All my favorites like Redman and Cube, all of them have dropped in the past year. Dre and Snoop came out last year this time. It's I would have to really think about that because Rakim, well, he dropped like almost to me like a partial album. Has Scarface dropped anything new? I'm gonna put Face Mob in there. Face Mob. Um, out of people that haven't dropped in a while. See, I have to think about that because you be thinking people haven't dropped and they be like, oh, so and so had an album just a year and a half ago. Off the top of my head, Scarface would be first. Um, but I have to think about that. That's a great question. Rod Justice says, if MC is off the head, I am not an MC. Uh, is that the definition that we're going with? Patrick McLean said, if you have had the pleasure of seeing KRS One live, you know what an MC is. I agree with that. Um, he's multifaceted in that he does it all lyrically. He rhymes off the top of his head. He writes songs. He is great live, great breath control, great projection. One of the best ever. I think KRS and I think Black Thought, a couple guys really project on the mic. Great. Um, he is, as far as emceeing, I always say that different artists, when you talk about the greatest of all time, I think there's different artists that are the greatest at certain things. I don't think there's one person that's great at everything, but there's certain artists that are great at certain things. And I think as an MC, microphone, beat, crowd, I think KRS One is the best at that. But yeah, go check out a KRS show. Derek Mallory says he took the MC out of Hammer, but while dressed as a gangster for his album, The Funky Headhunter. Is that the one with Rumps in a Bump? Didn't KRS give the definition of an MC? Who am I? The MC. Lottie Dottie. I don't wear Versace. That was one of KRS's one's greatest vocal performances to me, too. On that album, I Got Next. I don't know. He says who an MC. He says I am an MC. He described himself. I have to go back and listen to that. Maybe he gives a definition. I know he's always talking about the difference between hip hop and rap. Um, let's see. Corey Fletcher Kenny in capitals. That's not a good definition. I think in more capitals, rapper is a performer. When you perform, you are rapping. So anyone from rapping Duke to KRS can be a rapper. So only if you're performing, you're a rapper. Then what is an MC? That's the question that we're asking. The question was, what is the difference between an MC and a rapper? And my answer was, I'm not clear. And then I came with what I think it could be. And I said maybe some guys could give an opinion. So now we have the Corey Flood opinion, which is he thinks a rapper is a performer. When you perform, you are rapping. So anyone from Rapping Duke to KRS One is a rapper. Okay, and if you're not performing, then what are you? And performing where? To a crowd? If you're in the studio, you're not a rapper? I'm still confused. Um, Vincent Ross, what up? Says it was dope to see your brother, Daddy O'Kane, and DMC give De La Soul their props at the beginning of their career. Yeah, think it was like an interview. There was a De La Soul album release party, and a lot of artists were there, and they were all saying how great the 3 Feet High and Rising album was. Y'all know how, y'all already know on here how I feel about that album. Um, yeah, it was dope. Chris loves De La Soul. Corey Flood says, however, an MC is a creator. The one who writes the rhyme is an MC. So when Chris writes his rhymes, he's an MC. When he's in the studio, the street, or stage performing, he's rapping. So if an MC is a creator and the one who writes the rhymes, then when someone has a ghostwriter writing for them and they're on stage, then what are they doing? They didn't write it. They are performing someone else's rhymes. Where do they fit in? I've seen MCs on stage rock the crowd without saying a rhyme, with just crowd participation, saying things that were invented from our forefathers, like say ho, throw your hands in the air, where all the ladies at. All of that stuff came from like Flash and the Furious Five in them. I've seen people come on stage and just do that and rock a crowd. They're not creating anything. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not ashamed to say when I don't know or I'm not clear. Um, I don't know. Uh, Patrick McLean says Run DMC had dope album covers. Yes, they did. Redman's Muddy Waters cover was incredible. That's the one. No, no, no. I'm thinking, is it There Is a Dark Side? The one where he's buried up to his neck. Is that There Is a Dark Side or is that Muddy Waters? I thought Muddy Waters, he was sitting in a chair. Whatever album cover he was covered up to his neck in dirt, that was incredible. That's what I'm talking about. Liquid Swords had a dope album cover. Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full is a legendary cover. Um, Dixie Freely says No Time was a subliminal response to Tupac. They purposely used the same sample he previously used. Well played. Little Kim did an answer to Tupac. There's a version of Big Mama thing. Well, Little Kim, the version I heard originally, Little Kim dissed Faith and she dissed Tupac on it. And then when Tupac passed, they took those lyrics out and put Jay-Z in the song. The original, I think it's called Big Mama Thing, the one that Jay-Z is rapping on. I heard it before Jay-Z was on it, and Kim was going in. Um, Patrick McQueen says Queen's Devil's Nest, right? I'm not sure where the Devil's Nest was. Um, I got in trouble on here because I said the rooftop was in the Bronx, and I said that by accident. I don't know what I was thinking because I know it's in Harlem. And I said the rooftop was in the Bronx, and in the comment section, someone corrected me on that. Thank you so much. So I don't really want to say where the Devil's Nest was because I wasn't there. I don't think I've ever been there. Riding Dirty Face, what's your opinion on Chuck D's working in the State Department? This is the first time I'm hearing this. I have no opinion because I have no idea what's going on with that. Um, Fulci says mass appeal is keeping real hip hop somewhat mainstream somehow. Yeah, they got a good publicist over there. They're putting I'm not gonna say real hip hop. I don't believe in real. They're putting classic hip hop artists in the same medium with newer acts so that they can be seen and heard. You put them on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, you put their songs, videos up on YouTube with nice sounding videos. You put it in the magazines, you put them on talk shows, you're giving them real um promotion. Promotion is everything. I don't know if people realize how much promotion has to do with whether your record sells or don't. You could have the greatest record in the world. If nobody knows it exists, it's not going to reach the masses. Um, Daily Operation was great. CMC says hard to earn was great. That's what I'm saying. I can't pick one. Um, but I I I love Gangstar. I love Gangstar's album. So there's no, I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to their whole catalog and say, this is the album right here. I Manifest is still my favorite Gangstar joint. Here, wait a minute. This didn't come up on the screen. Yeah. I Manifest is still my favorite Gangstar joint. Guru looking like Malcolm X in the video. I remember that. That's when we used to call him Gangstar. We thought he was Gangstar. Um, I remember he used to be MC Gangstar. We didn't know it was like a whole group. Um, KRS epitomizes the MC. To me, he does. Um, Dear Marasuti, rappers are not masters, they just get paid. Well, in that case, no recording artist is a master. They all just they barely get paid. Master, for someone to be a master, that means someone else has to be a slave, right? Spook Realm said the Capitals is just to get your attention. Hmm. Napoleon, what up, brother? Yeah, I remember that on the song Criminal Minded. KRS said, don't call me an MC, call me a poet or musician. So I can't see how we are so stuck on precise titles. Exactly. KRS One was not an MC in the beginning. I remember he might have said it on a couple of occasions. And then later on, he says, I am the MC. You are 100% right, Napoleon. He did say that on Criminal Minded. He says he was a teacher and a poet, and then he became an MC. I would love to ask Krista. That's a great question to ask him. Dre Dollars, an MC, Master of Ceremonies, is an artist with superior skill. That's a very subjective term, superior skill, who can control a crowd, write intricate lyrics, and perform versatility. embodying the culture of hip hop. That's a lot of criteria. That means there's not that many of them. If you have superior skill, you can control a crowd and write intricate lyrics and perform them versatility. Um, that's not a lot of people. Be honest. Uh, you're right, Buffalo. Buffalo Gal, what up? Says, how many MCs must get dissed? He did say, how many MCs must get dissed? I think KRS has used that word interchangeable. Yeah, devastating for you. So MCs can't be in the studio. It's nasty work. Yeah. Um, yeah. I see you breathing fully. Let me see if I can get this. I can't see it all the way. Let's see if I can get this. I see you breathing fully. Oh, hoo. That's what I appreciate about you, KP. Thank you. I don't know what it is that you appreciate about me because I'm a little behind, but I appreciate you for appreciating me. Uh, Rosmel says that's Muddy Waters. That's Muddy Waters with his neck buried. So what's the one with him sitting in the chair? Oh wow, maybe I got my albums mixed up. Wait, Flochi says, yeah, Muddy Waters is the dirty chair. Yeah. Derek Malley, yes, it was There's a Dark Side on the red cassette. Yeah, when he's buried up to his neck. I think that's an incredible album cover. Um, Dre said, Biggie never should have entertained the thought of his name on the back of a hearse. In hindsight, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Rosmel, when she says, next time your punk ass will keep your head up. Yeah, all of that was in that rhyme. In that rhyme that Little Kim did that never came out. Your ability to say I don't know, encouraging people to stop fronting and to make room for the unraveling of truth. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, if you don't know something, let's find out. And that's the purpose of this channel. I always say to exchange information. I try to give you guys what I have. You guys give me what you got. We fact check each other. Because in the end of the day, we want to document hip hop as true as it can possibly be, or as accurate as it can possibly be. Um, so yeah, if you don't know something, just say you don't know. I'd rather that's like somebody asking for directions. How do I get to Main Street? And instead of you saying, yo, I don't know, or I don't live around here, somebody be like, oh yeah, make a left and a right. And there's an old man sitting on a tree. When you see him, make a left there, and then you see Miss Mary baking a cake, and it's right there. Like instead of doing that, just say I'm not sure, I don't know, and let them find out from somebody else. But some people need to be right all the time or can't say they don't know or can't say things went wrong. I'm not one of those people. Vincent Ross, by all means necessary and self-destruction are dope covers. Yeah, by all means necessary is a classic Malcolm X cover. But I don't know what the rankings were. Um, that's just wild to me. I have not seen this. But Ilroy the MC, Kenny, watching the show with my wife Shanta tonight. Could you give her a shout out? Of course, Shanta, what's up? Y'all watching it together? Big up, Shanta, that's dope. And Ilroy the MC is a regular on the channel, so much appreciated uh, for you being a regular, for your contribution, for you getting on the day after Thanksgiving. And once again, Shanta, big up. Oh shoot, I'm at the bottom. Oh shoot, I'm caught up. Oh no, no, here's what happened. This thing just jumped. I get it now. I checked the super chat and I just lost like 30 comments. I don't know why it updated me like that. This program is always doing something different. Um, yeah, there is a dark side. It's him with the dirt up to his neck. Yeah, and I think Muddy Waters is when he's sitting in a chair. What do you got in the red cup? Cheers, water, just all water. Um, you're right, Corey Floyd. Redman stole. I wouldn't say stole. I would say copied, interpolated that cover idea from Parliament. He bit Maggie Brain. Yes, he did. Dixie Freely, Kenny, will you ever release an instrumental album, all SB 1200 beats? Actually, I did back in 1998. It was called Kenny Parker Battle Beats. It was 1997. Kenny Parker Battle Breaks, I believe it was, a Battle Beats. Kenny Parker Battle Beats, I did um, in 1998. Will I do it again? Um, Possibly. I was in talks with somebody last week about putting out some 45s, uh, some hip hop instrumental 45s. So maybe, maybe. Mr. York, this is off the subject, but Simon Says halted Pharoah Monch's career. He lost a lot of money because of the sample. Yeah, I actually had a whole conversation with Pharoah Monch about that one day in the street. And he was telling me how the Godzilla sample from his biggest record, that was a great song, by the way. Simon Says he gave it to either he gave it to them to clear, or they didn't. The Godzilla movie is from 1959, I believe that came out, something like that, 1960, something like that. And either they thought it was too old, or they didn't clear it. They just forgot to clear it, or whatever. And they came out with the record. The old Japanese company that owned Godzilla stepped up and sued them for so much money that Pharoah Monch says not only did he make no money for that album, but he said the next album that he had due, they get all the money from that too. So this is I forgot what year he was telling me this, but this is after Simon Says and before whatever project came out after that. So I guess Simon Says was the album. Was the album Internal Affairs? Something like that. I forgot the name of the album. Whatever that album was current. He said all the money from that album goes to the Japanese company, and whatever happens in the future album goes to that company. He lost everything off of a sample clearance for the biggest record of his career. I mean, I'm sure he made a bucket load of money in shows, but all of the publishing and record sales, he lost. That was a big worldwide hit record. Mm. I don't know. Napoleon says it was all about destroying previous definitions and status quo. Trailblazers like KRS Rakim and Chuck flew in the face of convention, even hip hop convention. Too many followers today. Well, today is following is in style. Like being a follower is the thing. Like for us being original and not being a biter, a sucker MC was our thing. Sounding like the next record seems to be what's in style now. Somebody comes out with something, let's do it that exact same thing. It's like we're living in a bizarro world. It's crazy. Mark Thompson, I like the Sex and Violence album cover. Yeah, that artist, I think Chris saw that. I forgot the artist who did it. We got in trouble for that cover. Not in trouble, but That is one of the things. There's a handful of things that hurt the Sex and Violence album sales. One of them being there were record stores that would not carry the album because of that record cover. And Jive had to go back and make another album cover for certain markets. I believe like the armed forces, which is a back then was a big moneymaker for record companies. They would sell 100,000, 200,000 records just to the armed forces. And they would have them distributed to all the bases all over the world. And so if the armed forces say we can't have this, that hurts tremendously. I believe we had to make a cover for they had to make a cover for the armed forces, and a couple other people didn't like that cover, which is another thing that you know slowed the record sales. Flochi says like button. Yes, please hit the like button. Like right now, if you get a chance, let's go like. It helps. Dre Sex says, KP, that was a chat GPT breakdown of a MC. Yeah, I figured it was a definition, but yeah, according to chat GPT, there's not that many MCs out here. That's a high criteria. Tracy, what's up? Um, let's see. Organized Confusion Stress is one of my all-time favorite albums. Big up to the organisms. Yeah, or can't say I'm sorry. There's people in this world that can't say they're sorry. I don't know if, that's not masculine to say, I am sorry. I made a mistake and I am taking responsibility for my error by admitting that I was wrong. A lot of people can't admit they made a mistake. I mean, I have no problem saying it. If you mess up, you mess up, man. Some people try to gaslight you into believing the mistake is not really a mistake, or you made the mistake. Or how dare you question them, even though they made a mistake. Spaceship says the Dark Side album cover is a tribute rather than a copy. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I don't think they were stealing the cover. I thought it was a tribute. KP Redman is paying homage to Funkadelic Magna Brain album cover. Yeah, that's how I look at it, paying homage. But some people could look at it as stealing. It's all how you look at it. Well, she says Raucus lost a label basically over that sample, I believe. Could be. Um, I don't know what the settlement was for, but I know it broke Pharoah Monch. So unfortunate. But when you don't clear a sample and they come for you after the fact, they can say whatever they want to say. They could take it off the shelf. And some of these artists, they're really merciless when it comes to sample clearance. Like I remember Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. Um, excuse me, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns had the song Uptown Baby. We get down, baby, for the crown, baby. And they put it out originally as a independent. Excuse me, I had that. It was red. I had that record, and then it blew up. It was getting radio play and everything before they even got signed to Sony. And when they signed to Sony, if I recall, then they went to clear the record from Steely Dan. I think it was Steely Dan. And Steely Dan says, I want 100% of the publishing, all of it. The music, the lyrics, everything, or take or don't use it. And it was such a big record. You know, it was already big, and the potential for that record, it became a platinum single. A platinum single is so rare. It became a platinum single, but the fact that Steely Dan took all the money from these young boys from the projects. I mean, it's their music; they could do whatever they want, and they gave you the option to say no, just change it. If you don't like it, take it off. You know, but you had to accept those terms. And it ended up being a platinum single. They probably got hardly no money because all the money went to Steely Dan. It's their music, but that's kind of merciless. I mean, I can even see if you took 100% of the music. Okay, this is my music. I'm taking 100%, and you guys could have the writers. You did write the rhymes. They was like, we want it all. Sampling is tough, man, especially after the fact. Um, so what you want? That's a tragic story. Such a classic hip hop song. Pharaoh is my top forever. Yeah, and I'm telling you guys this. I got this from his mouth to my ears. Um, so I didn't even get this. Like I didn't even get like reading the story. He told me this in real time because this was like just happening when he told me that. JT said, "Wow, that's a crazy for Pharrell Monch. He should have sued the label for not clearing it. He did his part. Yeah, he did. Um, but I don't know the whole story. Did he give it to them and they just didn't clear it? Because that's what happened to De La Soul. They turned in the credits, according to Prince Paul, who did you said that on this show. They turned in the credits and Tommy Boy chose not to clear the one French sample that they used from a French record, that Écoutez à midi, whatever it was, and they sued and won a lot of money. Um, um, so I don't know if he told them and they didn't do it, or he didn't tell them, or whoever's job it was should have got fired for sure. And I have a epic fails on this channel called All Samples Cleared. I think I did about 2 years ago. I go into a few stories about BDP sample clearances. We had a bunch of them, sample clearance problems. Um, let's see. Oh, Vig Monster said, yeah, I heard Redman on Drink Champs talking about how he realized how everyone sounding like the next man is a style. Yeah, that's like a style. It's in style to sound exactly. I mean, vocal tone, rhyme style, music, everything. That's these young boys, man. That's what they're into. Um, let's see. Drake Stack says the only thing we all sported the same was sneakers or sports hats, and even with that, we all laced our tennis shoes different. I mean, some fashion comes in style. I mean, everything has something that blows up big, and we all like it. It becomes in style, and we rock it. And you might rock yours a little different than somebody else's, or you might see how somebody else rocked it, and you rock it exactly like that. And hip hop was tremendously influential in taking the street style and showing it to the world. And you have people from all over the world dressing like hip hop artists. And clothing companies made millions off of hip hop and then distanced themselves from hip hop. Shame. Um, but yeah, some things are in style, but artistically, The greatest artists are different, are unique, or try to be. Uh, who knows? Yeah, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick never got sampled cleared for the show when Rick says, Michelle, my bell. I think there's something else too. And Lottie Dottie, if you get Lottie Dottie right now, I think it's all because of you. They're feeling sad and blue is not in it. There's a part of Lottie Dottie, I think it's that part that if you get it now, it just jumps, it just goes and then it jumps to the next rhyme. Like they had to take that out. Like if you have a Lottie Dottie with it's all because of you, you have the old one. I remember that a few years back, like a couple decades back. If you tried to get, like if you went online and tried to get like a Lottie Dottie that was reissued, there's a piece chopped off of it. I mean, the 80s was the Wild Wild West. We was just doing whatever. But Slick Rick sung Walk On by Dionne Warwick, I believe written by Burt Bacharach. He sung the whole thing on what's that song? Oh man, on the B side of not the B side of Children's Story. It's the B side of Hey Young World. What's the name of that song? Anyway, y'all know the song. It'll come to me. Enough. They await you. Dun, 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 dun. Um, it's 9:07. Please hit the like button if you get a chance. I'm gonna start saying it a little more. Midnight Marauders is an incredible album cover. Vegan Monster. So did Doom clear his Steely Dan sample for Gas Draws? I don't know. Gas Draws? I don't know. I just heard the story with Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn because once it's after the fact, they can do whatever they want. Rosmel says Tatiana Ali put out a song with the Uptown Baby sample that next year. Yeah, the Locks had it too. And the story that I hear is that the Locks had that sample. It was coming out on their album, and Peter Guns and them blew up with it. And Puffy was trying to pay the record company, trying to pay the radio DJs not to play the Peter Guns version because he wanted the Locks version to blow up. So he was trying to pay for it not to get played. I heard this from a reliable source. Puffy was paying to stop Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, but it had a momentum of its own. I'm pretty sure they cleared it before the fact. Um, Folks, you said that's sad because again, that was their biggest hit. Yeah, it was a platinum selling single in any genre is rare, and hip hop is incredibly rare. In 1998, that was the Billboard #1 song of the year. There's the Billboard Top 75 chart for the year 1998. They had the top 75 songs of the year based on their chart. And the reason I noticed is because at number 75 at the buzzer, the Heather B record that I did called Do You with Heather B slid in at number 75 for the year 1998. But number one was Deja Vu. That's the name of the song. Number one was Deja Vu, Uptown Baby. Um, so they basically had the #1 song of the year on Billboard and got nothing. Derek Mallory says Michael McDonald liked Warren G's Regular. Yeah, I saw that. Warren G interview where he said he ran into Michael McDonald, and Michael McDonald said that him doing Regulate brought that song back to life. Made that song popular with his own kids, with Michael McDonald's kids liked Regulate more than they liked their father's song. Big up to Nate Dogg, rest in peace. Um, but I'm pretty sure he cleared that. But I heard a rumor about Death Row. I don't like telling rumors. I'm gonna put this up there and say it's a rumor, so I don't know if it's true. But I heard from a pretty good source that Death Row wasn't clearing any samples. Their attitude was, you want your money, come get it. They had a ton of lawsuits up there, tons of lawsuits. And they just was like, what? What you gonna do? I don't know if that's true, but I heard that from a person who I believe is credible. Corey Flood said there's a bit more to that Uptown Baby. Puffy wanted to sample that Steely Dan, but didn't after Peter Gunn's record blew up. So Steely took it all from them to compensate. But I actually heard the Locks record with that Steely Dan sample. I heard that record. I don't know if it was a bootleg or if it was on the album, but I heard that record with the Locks and the same sample. Um, And I didn't hear that Puffy wanted the sample but didn't use it after Peter Guns. I heard that they was trying to stop Peter Guns. That's how I heard it, but I could be wrong. But I heard it from a DJ. Um, let's see. Vegamons, I've been wondering, does KRS still hate Puma sneakers? Well, he did call them whack in 86, 87. I've never seen him in Pumas. I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with KRS still hates Pumas, and not because of their whack, but because Shan had them on. I would go, if Shan had on some ponies, it'd be whack pony sneakers. Some spot builts. Y'all remember spot builts? Some whack spot built sneakers. Kenneth Smith says, KRS says, MC, you spitting for your people, and rapper spits for the corporation. He says both are good, but you need a balance. It's titled KRS One explains the difference between an MC and a rapper, short, 1 minute long. Oh, that's dope. I mean, that's his interpretation. An MC spits for your people, and a rapper spits for a corporation. That's still vague to me. Because you could spit for your people, but once a corporation takes it and puts some artwork around it and some plastic around it and put it in the stores, you're spitting for the corporation. I don't know exactly. To me, that's still vague. You spit for your people. That means you're doing it for free. An MC raps for free, and a rapper raps for money. Maybe. So you could be an MC, but once you get that check, you're now a rapper. Um, Corey said, yes, Sukiyaki was removed from Lottie Dottie. That's what it was. So is Michelle from the show. Michael Jackson's owns Michelle. Yeah, Sukiyaki. It's all because of you. Yep, Sukiyaki. Yeah, because I remember I was trying to digitize my music back in like 2005, 2006, when like CDJs and Serato became big. I started like digitizing everything. And I'm getting some glare on my microphone. And I was looking for a copy on one of these sites. I was all over the place looking for a copy of Lottie Dottie, a nice clean copy. And there was clean copies all over the place, but it was missing the part that everybody sings. So I had to take my original and digitize it with the crackling in it just to make sure I had "It's All Because of You." Yeah, Funk Doobie, what up, brother? Says Mona Lisa by Slick Rick is the title. Thank you, yo. That was killing me. I never would have got that either. Mona Lisa was about as far away from my mind as possible. Funk Doobie in the building. Um, let's see. Question Blacker, were you on Heather B's External Affairs album? No, I was not. Um, Mark Thompson, Spotify bought Who Sampled? Really? Why they want to so that the people, I could see why they would do that, because if there's any songs out that people like that has samples, they're trying to direct you to the original. Like if you like this song, they're probably going to give you some way for you could find the original record and go listen to that too, which is another stream for Spotify. I mean, it's for the artist too, but you get such little money that it's almost negligent. But yeah, Spotify, that's a great investment to get to direct a person who likes a song to the original to get another stream. That's a great investment. I did not know that. Mm, let's see. Kachimano. Puffy had that kind of power. Look what he did to Wu-Tang. Yeah, Puffy had tremendous power. The story goes, I said it before, back in the 90s, now I would say into the 2000s, but for sure the 90s, 60% of all hip hop records, hip hop being sold, was coming out of New York. 60% was coming from just New York. That's the majority of the music. So now, and there was one radio station, Hot 97. So basically, Hot 97 was controlling what was being sold, because if your record wasn't on Hot 97, New York wasn't going to hear it. And that's where 60% of the music was coming from that's being sold. So basically, Hot 97 really controlled what 60% of the music that's being sold would be heard. And they used that power to their full advantage. Now, Puffy was very close with the program directors and the people that ran Hot 97. And in some cases rightfully so, because Bad Boy, let's say a radio station say has 30 slots, right? What you call rotation, records that get played more than once a day, um, is called a record is in rotation on a radio station. And they have light, medium, heavy. So light rotation is once a day, I believe. They play a record one time a day, so you get 7 spins a week. I guess the medium rotation would be anywhere from 2 to 3 to, like, I don't know, 10, maybe twice to 14, 15. So it'd be like twice a day. Twice a day, I guess, would be medium, and anything more than that would be heavy rotation, where your record is getting played 3 and 4 or 5 times a day. So out of the 30 slots that a radio station would have, Bad Boy would probably have like 10 or more. You look at it, especially on a station like Hot 97, which was all rap and R&B, Bad Boy would have like 10, and Puffy remixes would probably be like 5. Def Jam would probably have like 7, and then everybody else is probably fighting for like the other 6 or 7 slots, something like that. So with that kind of product placement on Hot 97, Puffy was very powerful. And he used that power to take certain people off. I believe Wendy Williams got in some trouble for mentioning Puffy's name too many times. That's the story I heard. Um, Wendy Williams was big on Hot 97 and got banished from New York. She was off the air in New York for a long time. And then she came back on WBLS and exploded. But Wendy was already hot on Hot 97 and she got fired. And I don't know if it's true, but the word is that she kept saying Puffy's name one too many times. Um, he was very, very powerful back then. Very powerful. But he couldn't stop Deja Vu. JT says KRS was so wrong for that line. It made people look at some perfectly decent Puma Clydes differently. Your whack Puma sneaker, yeah, he killed Pumas and Shan. Shan, that was Shan's sneaker. But I say in defense of KRS, it could have been any sneaker. Because he said on Dope Beat, my name is KRS1. I'm still kind of young. I don't wear Adidas because my name ain't Run. Got Nikes on my feet, and to be complete, I can rock a reggae or American beat. So he said too, I don't wear Adidas because my name ain't Run, which was which is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Slick line to say, controversial line to say. Um, and he says he wears Nikes. Never got a deal from Nike, but um, yeah, and Puma just because of Shan. City Rose says OJ wore spot belts. Word? Oh shoot! How many sneakers have come and gone that was hot for a second? I remember in the mid '80s. Remember when Fila blew up? Fila sneakers. You had your Fila suit. If you had a Fila suit with Fila sneakers, you was balling, balling. Mr. York, you are so right. People that's not from New York don't realize, even though the boroughs would be different, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Harlem had different styles. All of those boroughs are in New York City, make up New York City, the five boroughs. For those that's not from New York, Manhattan, really Harlem, but it's all Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island are the five boroughs that make up New York City. They could not be more different, especially Brooklyn and Harlem. If you want to know complete opposites, you could tell a Brooklyn dude and a dude from Harlem instantaneously in a party. Instantly. I think Queens dudes are a little harder to distinguish. Um, in the Bronx, I'll say the Bronx, they weren't as clean and dapper as Harlem, but they were clean. Harlem is the epitome of clean and shiny and fancy. Puffy, Puff Daddy, Cameron. Um, and Brooklyn is the definition of grimy. So it couldn't be more different, but that's a great point for people that's not from New York to understand. Def Rocker, have you met Funk Dubious? I'm not sure if we've met. Funk Doobie, have we met? We might have had a show together. I'm not sure on that. Scenario says, which doobie you be? Mark Thompson says some of the stuff on Who Sampled wasn't credited on albums. Yeah. Who Sampled? There's two of them, I think. It's Who Sampled and there's another one, Sample This or something. Those guys are incredible in the stuff that they could find. Because they found a horn that I used. I'm not going to say what record I used it for, but they found a horn that I found on an obscure record. It's just a horn. It's just a sound that went bam. That's it. Bam. And I took that bam and made something out of it. And they found that one sound and put it up. I couldn't believe they found it. They were right too. There's a lot of stuff that we producers and samplers try to sneak past. You try to sneak past it. If you get caught, you could be like Lord Tariq or Pharoah Monch. Um, Def Rocker says Hot 97 is whack. Hot 97 was once a monopoly. Power 105 came along. Well, you know what, too? I'm gonna blame the black man for this because there were three. Let me give you a little radio history. There were three basic R&B stations. There were more over the years, but it basically boiled down to three R&B stations by the late 80s, early 90s. Hot 97, which was just turning into Hot 97, they were something else, and they decided to go um, into R&B and a little hip hop. And they were playing dance music, R&B, and a little hip hop. And then we had Kiss FM. That's where Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out was on, 98.7 Kiss FM. And we had WBLS, which is one of the oldest R&B stations on FM in the country, and is black-owned New York radio. Um, and somewhere in the early 90s, when gangster rap came out, but when it became big around the time of the Chronic, WBLS, black-owned station, decided that they are no longer playing hip hop. They are banning hip hop from New York City. They are done with it. They don't want to be associated with their children, basically. And so they cut off all hip hop. They used to have Kid Capri on there. They used to have Mr. Magic, Pete Rock, Marley Marl. All of those shows were on BLS. They was playing all kind of hip hop. They decided that they were the older people. They decided that we're done with hip hop. It's too vulgar. It's too this and that, and they stopped it. Hot 97, the corporations, they said, "Oh, word." As a matter of fact, we got this guy named Funkmaster Flex, and we have him playing hip hop on the weekends, late night, and it's doing incredible numbers. Matter of fact, you guys are ending hip hop. We're about to make Hot 97 one of the first all hip hop stations in America. In the biggest market, Hot 97 went all hip hop, little bit of R&B, but mostly all hip hop at the same time as BLS dropped hip hop. So then you only had two stations playing hip hop, Hot 97 and Kiss. And then what Hot 97 did, which was brilliant, was they bought Kiss and turned it into, I think, a sports station. And they took the DJs, or they took Red Alert off of Kiss and brought them to Hot 97. And they just got rid of the competition. They bought the competition and changed the format. So then it became one show in town, Hot 97. And they dominated for like a decade. And then BLS decided to come back around and get into the rap game again. But by that time, the damage was done. So the elder black people turned their back on their youth. And that's what caused Hot 97 to pick up the ball and become a monopoly. And once they became a monopoly, they used ugly tactics. Rosmel said very few hip hop acts like Wu Tang were able to prosper while being banned from Hot 97. Yeah. Um, KRS is banned from Hot 97 too. Um, Later on, he got banned in the 2000s. Um, Remember when Nas had that whole beef around the time of Ether? Nas had one of the greatest rants in radio history. And he was talking about, he was really opening a can of worms. He was talking about payola, and he was talking about he's bigger than Hot 97. Y'all don't never have to play a Nas record ever again. Remember, he was dissing Flex. He was dissing Hot 97. He was like, what? I was so with Nas because Nas was basically saying all the rappers should get together and stop messing with Hot 97. Stop doing their summer jam. Stop doing all that stuff. But all of the rappers, the only rapper that I remember, Foxy Brown was like, yeah, I'm with Nas. Everybody else put their head in the sand. Like, man, I'm not rocking the boat. That was a moment in time where Nas could have led a hip hop revolution that broke the monopoly. And instead, hip hop said, "Nah, I'm sticking with what's going good. If it ain't going, it ain't nothing wrong. Why are we leaving? What you mean you want to be free?" Those that know what I'm talking about. And so, big up to Nas for standing up to them. And Wu Tang did too. They were before Nas with that, and they got banned. But the Wu was so big, but I still think it hurt them. It hurt them. It hurt them. But they survived it though. CMC in 91, Nice and Smooth dropped How to Flow. Smoothie said they're smooth imitators, smooth operators, but only one Smooth B, the smooth originator. A diss to BDK. And they're really good friends. Y'all remember that Nice and Smooth was on, um, was it Kane's first album or second album? Pimpin' Ain't Easy. So they were friends. On that same record, did Smooth B say something about abstract? Something about he's the real abstract, or he said something about abstract, which I raised a little eyebrow about too. I think it was that same record. First of all, How to Flow was banging, by the way. Um, he said, I believe he said something about abstract, or MCs want to be abstract or something too. Is it How to Flow? But yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a Big Daddy Kane slight to me. But I know that they're good friends, so I don't know. But yeah, I would read it that way. That's a good one. I would read it that way. We're in overtime right now, y'all. Oh shoot. Um, I'm gonna go a little longer. This is overtime for those that's new to the channel. We're in overtime right now. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit the like button right now if you get a chance. Big up to the Rewind crew. I'm going to do my Benny Doyle, scroll down to the bottom, and get some last comments off before I'm out. So I'm skipping a lot of comments, y'all. Let me see. I hate doing this. There's a lot of comments I'm skipping by. Okay, I'm kind of down here by the bottom. Yeah, Napoleon, there's suckers. That's more often than not the case. Talk is cheap. Everybody claims they're real hip hop and with the streets, blah, 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 until the time comes to sacrifice. Yeah. If you guys get a chance, go back and listen to that Nas rant. I believe he was he on BLS or Pop? Because Hot 97, I believe, was banning. No, it was after the Summer Jam, right? When Nas wanted to do a whole thing dissing Jay-Z, and Hot 97 wouldn't let him do it, right? I think he wanted to have like a hanging or something of Jay-Z or something wild. And I think Hot 97 wouldn't let him do it on the Summer Jam stage. And then he walked off. And I believe he went to Wendy. I think it was Wendy or Power One. I think it was Wendy. And had one of the greatest epic rants of all time. And it was a moment in time. You guys get a chance to look it up. It was Nas's rant. He went in on everybody. I think that's the one where he said he was calling out MCs too. I think he said Nori need to step his rhyme games up or something, and him and Nori got into it. Like he just went off. Yes, Dwick. Spook Realms says want to be abstract, but they lack. Yeah. I found that very interesting. Because there's only one MC in the history of rap who says abstract. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, they want to be abstract but sounding wick whack. um Philly Cheese, you gonna make me do it? I ran out of water. I'm gonna have to do it with a dry throat. Big up to anyway. I should really leave on that note, right? Uh, I was listening to Stretch and Bobbito show, college radio in the 90s from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. early Fridays. Yeah, Thursday night, yeah, early Friday. That was a big show. Big up to my brother Stretch Armstrong. That's my brother, man. Um, yeah, that show was going on in the midst of all the other shows. Kenneth Smith, yeah, he's talking about KRS and the MC versus rapper. He says clarification. KRS went on to say people tend to lean into the rapper and money, but when you rap for the culture, you get the respect. The culture comes first because with the respect comes the cash. So you rap for the culture first, and then with that respect, you earn money. So you start as an MC, and the natural progression of an MC goes into rapper and making money. I don't know. Riding Dirty Faces, KP, much thanks for the stream. Thank you for watching, man. Salute to you and to all the hip hoppers here and worldwide. Yo, thank you so much for that. I should really end on that note because that's a definitely great comment right there. I really appreciate you guys. This is a Friday after Thanksgiving. Um, I know a lot of people are going to be rewinding. Our rewind crew is pretty big. But for you guys that's on here live right now, rocking with me, and we just talking about whatever, I really appreciate it. Um, let's see. I'm going to scroll down, see if I can find any more. Oreo, yeah, I answered this on Tuesday. Will your book be on Audible anytime soon? Very soon. I'm finishing up the last pieces now. If so, will it be your voice? Absolutely. I'm telling the whole story in my voice, just as you hear it right now. Uh, and if it's your voice, will you start off with anyway? I should have. Um, had I thought about it, I would have did. I still have some time to put it on at the end. I should just go anyway for no reason. And only the people on this channel who know what I'm talking about. Fortune, yeah, when Nori said his man got a cocker spaniel, it felt lazy to me after the CNN album. I remember that Nas called him out. He called out a few people. It was a lot of beef after that. Um, I'm at the bottom, y'all. I'm seeing y'all comments in real time. Um, y'all talking about clothes. Y'all remember the historically black college sweat hoods with all the colleges on them? We had every last one of them. BDP was rocking. I had it like 10 of them. The people who were putting them out gave us like a whole big box of them. I had bunches of those hoods, man. Those were real popular for a second. I remember we rocked those. BDP rocked those. We didn't get paid. Well, I didn't get paid. I don't know if they gave Chris money, but I know we had a whole box of them. Um, AJ, oh, this is not what I wanted to put up. Boss, I never wore Boss. This. Kenny, you should do a live DJ Twitch streams. I don't know. Yeah, they let you play music on Twitch, right? Without bumping you off. Um, all right, I'm about to jump off. I see you guys talking about clothes. I didn't really rock a lot of the designers. I mean, Tim's, of course. I wore a lot of Sean John, actually. Big up the puff. I wore a lot of Sean John. The Sean John Big and Tall selection was dope. Um, yeah, that's a brand that I rocked a lot. Sean John and Tim's and hoodies. All right. I'm jumping off. This is the Kenny Parker Show. Big up to everybody. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. If you was able to get a plate for Thanksgiving, give thanks to that. For nothing else, just give thanks to the fact that you had a plate, because there's a lot of people around the world that would do anything for that plate that you had. And if you have leftovers and stuff, you're amazing. You are living an amazing life if you have leftovers. Um, I want to leave it on that note. And I'm thankful for you guys. We had a great year. The year's not over, but it's Kenny Parker Show. We've had a great year. We had some guests. I'm hoping to get a couple more before the year is over. A lot of people in their holiday groove, but we have a couple of people confirmed to come on. So it's just a matter of whenever they get the time. Um, but we've had a good year, just us just talking and hanging out, man. And I love it. I love it. I appreciate you guys. All right, I am jumping off. Um, and I'll catch you guys, God willing, on Tuesday. Tuesday we'll be into December by Tuesday. Sheesh. This year flew too, man. This year flew. All right, I'm out of here. Peace, y'all.